Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Bibbity Bobbity Books. My name is Ellie and this is going to be my summer TBR. So I am very much a mood reader. I rarely set myself strict TBRs because I find that as soon as I do that I lose all motivation to read any of the books. But I do like to read seasonally, so I tend to make these seasonal TBRs here on my channel where I pull together a bunch of books that I'm likely to pick up over the next few months. So I did a spring TBR and now it's my summer TBR, and I like to choose books that I think work well for that season so that I can fully feel immersed in each season, if that makes sense. So yeah, this is going to be a selection of books that I'm likely to pick up. It's not a rigid TBR. I may not read all of these. I may add to this list and read other books, but this is kind of my mood TBR, the books that I'm likely to reach for over the next few months. So yeah, let's get into it. So the first set of books that I've got on my TBR are for a specific reason, because I'm planning on doing a mermaid reading vlog in summer because I just think that'd be so much fun. So the first book is, of course, The Little Mermaid by Hans Christian Andersen. I have never actually read the original story of The Little Mermaid. It's about time, and I thought this would be absolutely perfect for that reading vlog. And so yeah, I'm really excited to finally read this story. It's a classic fairy tale and I'm really intrigued to see how it differs from more modern adaptations, because I know that the original story is a lot darker, for example, than the Disney remake, which is the one that most of us are familiar with. So I'm really excited to see how it differs, and yeah, I'm so excited to finally read such a classic fairy tale. Okay, keeping online with the mermaid books, I've got a few more to show you. So the next one on my list is Women's Law, 4,000 Years of Sirens, Serpents and Succubi. So this is actually a non-fiction book, and I thought this would be perfect for that reading vlog because it's going to give me a little bit more background into where some of these mythologies stemmed from. I know that mermaids pop up in lots of different cultures, so I'm really excited to find out a little bit more about different versions of this mythical creature, and I think this is going to be really lovely as well because it focuses in on kind of sexism within mythology and how women over the years have been demonized, because a lot of these creatures aren't nice. We're not talking Disney Little Mermaid, we're talking sirens that, you know, call sailors to their doom. So I'm really interested to hear some of the discussions around that as well within this book, and it's not too long, and yeah, I'm just really excited to find out a bit more about these creatures. And on a very similar vein, I've got another non-fiction book. This one is Mermaids, the Myths, Legends and Lore, and it's written by Skye Alexander, and I found this in a local bookstore and I just thought it'd be perfect for that reading vlog, and I think it does pretty much what it says on the tin. It's just talking about the myths and the lore and the legends behind these creatures, and this is just such a lovely little book as well because it's got some like beautiful detailing on the pages, and it also has some illustrations as well. I don't know if you can see that, but I just think this is going to be a really lovely reading experience and something that you can kind of dip in and out of, if that makes sense. And then because it's me, I had to include a horror book, didn't I? And I found a horror book that involves mermaids, or at least I think it involves mermaids. This is From Below, written by Darcy Coates. I know Darcy Coates is quite a well-known name within the horror genre. A lot of people really enjoy her books. I'm actually new to this author, so I'm really excited to see whether or not I'm going to get on with her writing style. But yeah, as soon as I heard the synopsis for this one, I thought it would be perfect to include in that mermaid vlog because it sounds like so much fun. So I'm just going to read you from the back actually, so you get an idea of what this book is about. So it says, no light, no air, no escape. Hundreds of feet beneath the ocean's surface, a graveyard waits. Years ago, during a routine voyage, the SS Arcadia vanished without a trace. Though a strange garbled emergency message was broadcast, neither the ship nor any of its crew could be found. 60 years later, its wreck has finally been discovered more than 300 miles from its intended course, a silent graveyard deep beneath the ocean's surface, eagerly waiting for the first sign of life. Cove and her dive team have been granted permission to explore the Arcadia's rusting hull. Their purpose is straightforward: examine the wreck, film everything, and if possible, uncover how and why a supposedly unsinkable ship vanished. but the Arcadia has not yet had its fill of death, and something dark and hungry watches from below. With limited oxygen and the ship slowly closing in around them, Cove and her team will have to fight their way free of the unspeakable horror now desperate to claim them, because once they're trapped beneath the ocean's waves, there is no going back. How much fun does that sound? It sounds like it's written for me. I really enjoy books that are set underwater. I find the open ocean a terrifying thing, especially if it involves diving and things like that, because you have the added suspense of the fact that you don't have much oxygen, you can't just surface really quickly, and it just makes everything even more heightened. And I just think this one sounds like it's going to be so creepy, such a fun time, and I think that it involves mermaids. The back doesn't really give it away, but it definitely involves some kind of horror from below, so I feel like it would still work for that vlog, and I'm just so excited. Okay, sticking with the horror genre, we have Lost in the Garden by Adam S. Leslie. Firstly, let's take a moment to appreciate this cover because it's stunning. It's giving Midsommar, the movie, and I really enjoy that horror movie. It's absolutely horrific and so tense and terrifying, and I'm really hoping that this book is going to be all of those things as well. So in this story, we follow three young women. We follow Heather, Rachel, and Antonia, and they are going to this place called Almonby, and you're not supposed to go to Almonby. But the reason why they're going is because Heather is trying to find her boyfriend, because her boyfriend went there and never returned. So off they go through the idyllic English countryside to find this place, and things start to get a bit weird. They start to hear voices in the radio, and it becomes harder and harder to tell friend from foe. And it says on the back that this is creepy, dreamlike, unsettling, and unforgettable. And it says you're about to join the privileged few who come to understand exactly why we don't go to Almonby. So I think this one sounds like such a fun folk horror, and I'm so excited for it. I'm hoping that it's going to have a really beautiful setting as well. The fact that it takes place in the English countryside during the summer, it's going to be perfect to pick up this season. And yeah, I love the fact that it says that it's dreamlike as well, because I really enjoy things that are a little bit weird. I'm hoping that it's going to be a little bit of a trippy experience maybe reading this book, and I love things like that, so I'm so excited. Next up, I have another horror book that I really want to get to this summer, and that is Diavola, written by Jennifer Thorne. This one has a really striking cover that initially drew me in, and I think this is going to be perfect for this season because it's a horror book that's actually set when a family go on vacation to Tuscany. So it's going to have that beautiful summery setting, but also have a really creepy haunted story at the heart of it, and that just sounds absolutely perfect. I'm so excited. All I really know is that our main character goes on a family vacation, and she has a lot of tension with her family. She doesn't really fit in. There's a lot of kind of drama going on within her family, and they go away on this vacation, but things start to get a little bit creepy. It says on the back, strange things start to happen, strange noises at night, food rotting within hours, dreams that feel more like memories, then the unsettling warnings from the locals, don't open the tower door. But Anna does open it, and what she releases threatens to devour her family. That is, if her family doesn't tear itself apart first. So I love the fact that this has got a lot of family drama going on as well, and I just think it's going to be such a fun time, and set in Tuscany, so perfect for this summer. Next up, I have a couple of Greek myth retellings that I'd quite like to get to this summer. That is also a genre that I think is perfect for this season, because obviously Greece is a hot country, and so I feel like it's super atmospheric for the summer season. And there's a couple that I'd really like to get to. The first one, you might be surprised I haven't read yet, because I feel like I'm the only person on BookTube that hasn't read this book yet, and that is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is a retelling of the Trojan War, but it focuses in on the relationship that's formed between Achilles and Patroclus. I'm really sorry if I'm pronouncing that name wrong, but yeah, this is told from Patroclus's perspective, and all I know is that it's supposed to be an epic love story. It's supposed to be incredibly emotional, incredibly moving, and that's all I really needed to know. I have read from this author before. I read Circe, and so I know that I enjoy her writing. It's very luscious, very descriptive, very transporting, and I really enjoy all of those things in my book, so I'm really hoping that this one delivers on those things as well, and I'm just so excited to find out what the hype is about, and I really hope that it lives up to my expectations. Okay, and next up we have Electra by Jennifer Saint. So this is another retelling, focusing in on this character of Electra. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know a huge amount about this character. I don't know much about Greek mythology, to be honest with you, but I'm excited to find out. It says on the inside that it's a beautiful and lyrical retelling, and I enjoy beautiful and lyrical writing, so that's off to a good start already. And it says, the house of Atreus is cursed, a bloodline tainted by a generational cycle of violence and vengeance. This is the story of 3 women, their fates inextricably tied to this curse and the fickle nature of men and gods. So there's obviously 3 main characters within this story. We've got Clytemnestra, Cassandra and Electra, and it is their story, and I'm excited to give this one a try. Okay, and then I have some fantasy books that I would quite like to get to this summer. The first one is The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. So this is the first book in the Dandelion Dynasty, and I feel like this series had a lot of hype when it first came out. I don't know, I'm a little bit behind with this one, but I picked it up just purely because of the rave reviews that came out. Everyone said that this was such a fantastic new fantasy series, and so I jumped on the hype train and I picked up the first book, but I haven't gotten to it yet. Honestly, I don't know a huge about this one, and I think it's just calling to me because of the cover, because it's got flowers and things on the front cover. I don't know, it just seems like a summery fantasy, but I think it is multi-POV. I think it's quite political and it involves things like gods, and I'm not going to read the back actually because I feel like epic fantasy is really hard to describe in a concise way, and also I just feel like sometimes it's nicer to just go in without any expectations and to just discover the world for yourself. So yeah, I'm just excited to try this one out, and I really hope that I enjoy it as much as everyone else seems to. Then I would also quite like to read Red Seas Under Red Skies by Scott Lynch. So this is the second book in the Gentleman Bastard series, and I read the first book, I think it was earlier this year, was it? Or last year? Honestly, the days are all blurring into one. But I read the first book anyway and I really enjoyed it, so I'm excited to get to the second one. I did find the first one a little bit slow paced. Scott Lynch definitely has a lot of description within his writing, which I do enjoy, but it does make it quite dense to begin with. But I actually switched to audiobook for the first book and I really enjoyed consuming it in that way, so I'll probably do the same for this second book. But yeah, this is a really fun fantasy. We follow our main character Locke Lamora, who is a con artist, and he was actually an orphan and he was raised on the streets of Camor, which is this Venice-like city, and he was taken in by the thief master and he was sort of trained up to be a pickpocket, but he got a little bit carried away. He got a bit ambitious, I suppose, and he started pulling off more and more elaborate pranks to try and swindle people, and because of that he started to draw attention to himself, and so the thief master thought that he was a little bit too dangerous to keep hold of, and he delivered him to the hands of this man called Chains, and Chains actually trains him up to become a member of the Gentleman Bastards, who are essentially a thieving bunch of people, but they're not like common thieves. They actually pull off these really elaborate heists, and they sort of swindle the merchants and the upper classes, and because of that they start to tip the balance of things within Camor, and Gentleman Bastards get in a little bit too deep, and it's just fun. It's a fun story. It has a great found family at the heart of it and a really fun setting as well. I really enjoyed the Venice-like city that the book takes place in. So yeah, I'm very excited to continue on with their story with the second book, and I think this is going to be perfect for summer because the cover has like ships on it, so I'm thinking it might have vaguely piratey vibes, and that seems like something that you would read and enjoy in the summer season. So yeah, I'm really excited for this one. And then speaking of piratey vibes, the next set of books that I would love to read in the summer season are the Live Ship Traders books by Robin Hobb. So I don't actually have these books yet, but I'm hoping to treat myself to them for my birthday. And I'm so excited because everyone seems to love this series. And I have started reading Robin Hobb's first series. I've read the first 2 books and started the 3rd one, and I really enjoy her world building. I enjoy her character work in particular. She has a really wonderful way of immersing you within a new world. You really feel like you get to know the characters and like it's a place that really exists because it's just so detailed, and I really appreciate that about her works. But I do know that this 2nd series, the Live Ship Traders, is very different from the first, because the first is following one character, you're inside his head the entire time, whereas the 2nd series is multi-POV. So I've heard from a lot of people that it reads a little bit different. I think it's a little bit faster paced, but I'm just so excited because it's a nautical fantasy and I really enjoy things that are set on the seas, and so I'm really excited to sink into this new series. I don't know much about it. All I know is that it involves magical ships, but that's all I need to know, and I'm just so excited to give that one a try. So there we have it. Those are a bunch of books that I am excited to get to this summer. Hopefully I will get through them. I'm sure I will continue adding to my TBR because I'm just that kind of a person. So I may well read a lot of other books that aren't on this list, but yeah, those are the ones that kind of my high priority, I suppose you could say. So yeah, let me know if you are excited to read any of these books as well, or if you've already read them. I'd love to have a chat with you in the comments section. If there's any other books that I don't have on this list that you think would be perfect to read during the summer, then please do give me a recommendation as well. I'm always on the hunt for book recommendations. And yeah, don't forget to like this video if you did like it, subscribe if you want to see some more from me, and I guess I'll see you next time with another video. Bye!